Hey there, Internet! Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars with Keeve YouTube channel. And a slightly different look than we normally have on the channel, but we're going over the 1 year update on the DIY Detail 3-year, 5-year, and 8-year ceramic coatings. Now, I was given these ceramic coatings before they were even launched, just to test them out for Ivan. He said, no obligations, no video needed or nothing. We just want your feedback. But then I said to myself, I have this hood. I don't have any coatings on it. It goes through heck and back. So I decided let's put all 3 of them on there and see how they go. And if you watch the video from it, you'll know that this was so easy to install. Like, ceramic coatings have really evolved big time to where the leveling and all that stuff, it's not the fear that it once was. This thing has been through a lot. Now, I've tried to tally what it was. I didn't go through every video and saw, but this panel has gone through about 175 what I would call a soap and rinse. And it's been sprayed with Incredible Suds, which is what we're going to use in this video for the initial pre-spray. It's about an 8.5 alkaline at 30. I use it at 32 to 1. In the sprayer, we're going to use my current favorite little spray right here. We're going to do a decon wash on this, or what they call a maintenance wash, to kind of show you the coating at its best that you can have it, where the pores are clear and it's going to have its most hydrophobicity. Many times filming and having screw up bloopers and then letting that stuff sit on there for 20-30 minutes and dry onto the surface. Get tired at the end of the night, leave the foam on there. I'd say at least 20 times I've left the product on there and then had the next time around wash it. Normally, most videos, it goes through a real maintenance wash either before or after a video. So there have been about 70 videos since then. About 45 of those videos were based around the hood. So those videos, there was at least a maintenance wash before and after. So that's about 40 maintenance washes. It's been subjected to about 20 different pressure washer reviews. Anything from getting hit at 2,000 to 3,000 PSI, getting constantly rinsed and rinsed and rinsed, being touched with other chemicals, testing sprayers. I mean, this has gone through a lot, but this was dropped into 6 different sections. And if you see my videos when I'm spraying on here and I'm foaming, you'll see sometimes there's a number 5, 8, and 3. Well, that was taped off. And then we taped off to signify which one of them it was. And then we had quadrants. The top quadrant was just the coatings. The bottom quadrant was the coatings with a quick beads topper. Now, the idea was throughout the year was to keep putting the topper on the bottom and not on the top to see how much better those coatings would be over time. But I kind of abandoned that after the first video, so this hasn't had toppers at all, probably the whole year. We have our foamer here that I showed earlier, 32 to 1 Incredible Suds, mixed with a couple of ounces of 15 to 1 All Clean. It's going to give a nice little power boost of a pre-foam. We're going to foam it down, wait 4 to 5 minutes, let it dwell, then we're going to rinse it off. I have my SGS 28 with the Big Boy Pro is up on the shelf right now because I talked to another company. There's been some complaints in the American market with humming on the devices, and it could be a low voltage kind of situation. We don't know, so I'm going to run it up there, give them my feedback on it. I did have a slight issue in a video, and I kind of want to try to replicate that. Believe me, they're working on it. They have their factory working on it. They have their teams working on it. I think it's just a unforeseen issue with the American market and the voltage in many garages, and the voltage isn't that perfect scenario. All right, back to the products. After we've done that rinse off, we're going to use rinseless wash. We have the Fantic NB here. This thing is amazing at spraying rinseless wash. And why? Rinseless wash. You're not a rinseless wash guy, but I think rinseless wash works really well for this process. So we're going to spray rinseless wash on there. We're going to do our contact wash with the Eagle 500 sitting in a bucket here, 256 to 1 rinseless wash. Once we wash that off, we're going to actually leave that rinseless wash on the hood. We're going to move over and run some iron remover, not a lot, just a couple sprays. Use our decontamination towel. This is synthetic. This isn't real clay. And this is lubricative iron remover. Not all iron removers are lubricative. And the rinseless wash is going to help with that as well. And we actually soak this in rinseless wash before I use the iron remover. And then once that's done, we rinse that off. Then we spray water spot remover on there. I don't have a spray top. I just use the last bottle empty. Let it sit for just not very long at all. We come back with the Eagle 500 soaked with rinseless wash, agitate the surface, rinse off again, and then we will dry off. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. We'll come back and then we'll show you the behavior of the water on the panel, whether it's in vertical or horizontal. Before we get any further, check out the links below for anything you see in the video. Don't forget, Cars with Keith will save you 10% at DIY Detail. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to washing. Well, I just remembered when I made the video where I let this run for over an hour, I never recharged it. I've actually done multiple washes since then. I guess it sat long enough to get enough power to do those. I use this on tires and wheels. A whole car, you saw, it would take a little while to do a whole car. Tires and wheels, this works really good for. And I guess it finally died. You can see there's the 8 from the 8 year. You can start to understand which one of these coatings did well and which one didn't. That's the 5 year. We have the outline of the 5. You can still see the tape there. We can still see this tape here. We can see the tape defined line between the 8 year and the tape, but not the 3 year. You can see the 3 year, the soap is working differently. The outline of the 3 is non-existent. This stripe is slightly existent across, like there is a defined line right here, but over here it's not. We're gonna flip it horizontal for this. Forgot to lock my hood down. Lock that hood down. As Ivan says, iron remover is very expensive. 1 spray on the towel, 1 spray on the panel. Now I may do 4 sprays, who knows? But this is like, this isn't clay. We're not claying. We're decontaminating. So we're just basically doing another contact wash with our iron remover. And then I'm gonna treat it just like I do my Eagle 500. Once I get done with this panel, I'm going to spray the opposite side. Now obviously iron remover, it don't smell good, but it does not bother me. And this panel has been maintenance washed so many times, it's slick. I don't feel it grabbing at all. Now with the water smart remover, I'm actually going to use my Solo sprayer head, which they fit right on top of these balls and screws right on. These things are great. This allows me to just quickly get that thing coated. There we go. That was with DI water, so we don't have to worry about minerals being blown around and dried into the pores and that kind of stuff. I'm going to bring this back to vertical for our first little water behavior session here. You can see it right there. You can see that some of the 3 year, the hydrophobicity is there right here. It's acting quick, it's moving, but up here, the water's just kind of staying a little bit longer and taking longer to evacuate. Even down here in this area right here, you can see it's doing better. Here's the 8 year. The 5 year. I think the 5 year is doing really well, especially down here at the bottom. Now, obviously, these areas don't get hit as much. The residual kind of comes down, but most of the abuse happens up in this area. Let's flip it back to horizontal since we already have the hose hooked up to the pressure washer because it's just a temporary setup up there. Here's that behavior on the horizontal. You see on the horizontal, the water reacts differently than it does on a vertical because the vertical, it has gravity's pulling it down. When it's sitting here, the water pulls a little bit more, so it takes a little bit longer for that evacuation to happen. But you see the 8 and 5 doing really well, and the 3, like the beads, you can just tell these beads, they're not tight like they are over here. See, it's still sheeting, but it is taking longer. Here's the 8. 5 year. Time for some real fun. So we have the Elay here. We have their shower head attachment. This thing flows water like nothing you've ever seen, and the pattern just soaks. It's crazy. We'll get about 7 gallons per minute or so. But these are high quality, but they are very, very expensive. These are not needed, but pretty awesome. It's like a fighter joystick. See that 3 year, how it's just taking forever to sheet off, but it is sheeting off. It's not stuck there. If you flood the 8 year, see how quickly it reacts? And it would react even quicker if we didn't have these unprotected areas kind of pulling it, and that 8 in the middle pulling it. Same with the 5. Let's flip this up, go horizontal, so you can see that water fall off. Here's your water behavior on the vertical. You can see the 8 and the 5 clearing really well. The 3 still sheeting right there. Some straight water, do what we call drying the panel with water. You're going to see what happens. The 3 year, not so much, a lot of sheeting. But once we get to the 8 year, you'll see how it just repels the water and basically takes the beads off the car without you even having to use a towel or anything. Same with the 5 year. Well, there you go. You saw the water behavior. And like I said, I attribute this to probably being at least 3 years worth of washes. In the 3 years, you can see it did have some areas where it was still working a little bit. It's just lost its hydrophobicy. The sheeting is slower. It's still kind of there. The coating's there. A lot of the characteristics of the coating, the hydrophobicy stuff's kind of gone. The 8 and 5 are basically acting like day one. Maybe not as tight of a bead as day one, but the evacuation of the water. So there you go. Let me know in the comments if you've used any of these coatings. What do you think about them? Are you waiting? Because I know a lot of people wait. They don't want to be the early adopter reviewers, and a lot of people, you're using a coating that you've never used before. You have no idea. Somebody's telling you that it's a great product. You have no idea until you use it. Pressure washers, no matter what it is. The 3 worked great for a long period of time. It's working great on my wife's 440 right now. It's been on there for almost a year. But the abuse here, just the last 2 to 3 months, has really started to degrade this side. The other 2 have done amazing. Don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And we're gonna spray and show you the act. So don't forget to check out. So don't forget to check. Starting already. So don't forget. Stop moving. Oh, it's sliding. Sliding on the phone. Lock that one too. There we go. So here we go. It would be really nice if you turned the water on. That one worked really